Hey everyone, it's MechLord again, playing Duel Links again. Why are you playing Duel Links, MechLord? You say you're quitting. I kinda wanted to. Konami recently distributed a bunch of free decks to all existing players as a way to entice inviting new players to the game. And one of the decks that you get for free doing so is, lo and behold, Hero. And Konami all but points you towards the direction of this skill, Dragonic Contact, which, as we all know, is not very appreciated by the common player, for what I feel is good reason. Between that and the couple of cards worth of support Hero has recently received in the newest mini box, you wouldn't be mistaken for thinking that Konami is trying to push Hero. Again, a deck which only recently fell out the metagame, but is still a decent grow contender. It's still topping tournaments. It's not like the worst deck out there. So what are these new cards? First and foremost, we have Elemental Hero Flame Wingman Infernal Rage with on Fusion Summon gets you a favorite card from your deck to your hand. People who have previously experimented with Wind Karibu level 6, which is treated as an Elemental Hero and favorite card, which is incredibly versatile when you think about it, because that means you can use it as a fusion material for Sunrise, and now you can search it, and it specials itself from the graveyard, so you can pitch it if you happen to discard it with a Liquid Soldier, so that's pretty cool. And the other favorite card is of course Favorite Hero, a card which released in its own structure deck, I want to say in 2021? I could be mistaken, but I do remember people giving this card a try specifically, so that they could sub out what else but Necro Valley, one of the most potent field spells of all time, and one of the most powerful floodgates of all time. You might be thinking, you know, Necro Valley doesn't really work well when you're considering that a lot of your stuff is asking you to banish your own stuff. You know, you got your Miracle Fusions, you got your Neos Fusions for protection in the graveyard that you can no longer banish, you got your Neos Crosskeeper. The advantage of playing Necro Valley is you deny your opponent the ability to use card effects in the graveyard at all, which is a good enough price to pay considering you're more than likely setting up a pretty decent turn anyway. But that's not all. Infernal Rage can also tribute itself if it was summoned using a normal monster's material in order to special summon pretty much any hero from your deck or graveyard, or extra deck rather. It doesn't summon from the graveyard, does it? No, it doesn't. My mistake. But what it can summon is Elemental Hero Sunrise, which will search the Miracle Fusion. That's still a pretty big beta, still pretty good. OTK Enabler, I've hated this card since it was first released in 2022. Speaking of Miracle Fusions, one of the new fusion monsters that you can turbo at is Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, which is both an okay-ish turn 1 option, considering it floats into any warrior monster from your deck, which is pretty cool, and a decent OTK enabler considering it has the Flame Wingman burn ability and also can grow really big, and that's a pretty cool artwork. Feels like something is missing though. Unfortunately for everyone involved, Dragonic Contact is still the best shell for hero decks for the time being, which is a shame. You know, I miss the time when we played Vision Hero Ferris. Maybe that will come to change in the future with the release of more hero skills. There's tons of hero support that we haven't gotten yet. But for the time being, we'll have to contend with that. I'm not gonna talk any longer about this deck. You'll know what this deck does. Let's just take out the replays. First replay is against my favorite deck of all time, Speedroids. Wow, I don't like Speedroids. It doesn't have anything to do with their scale. I'm not a fan of their scale, but I just don't like synchro decks in general. It's like every synchro deck has devolved into a pile of synchro good stuff that tries to pull negate monster plus negate that negates and a negate from the negate. And Speedroids were, in my opinion, one who started it. And now this guy just gets to do Speedroid combo. Look at our opening hand, double DD Crow. And then a Crosskeeper for the scale, so it's not even a complete brick. And get the red-eye dice, do the old thingy, and put one and two together into none other than the Speedroid Cork Shooter. That's the name of the card, if I remember. And look, wow, this card is just another Synchro Extender. It's really cool that they keep designing cards for Speedroid that are just ball spam. Fortunately, because of the way its effect is warded, by just banishing one thing in the graveyard, you can prevent it from going off altogether. So my opponent's going to try and revive Terra Top. I'm going to DD Crow and then just get to click yellow button to get a free clear wing anyway, because this is Duel Links, which at least put the clear wing face down. It wouldn't have mattered in this duel because I'm going second, but you know. Oh wow, really cool crystal guy thing animation. Fantastic. And now you get to click your button to get a card for free. You set one, set another, and pass the turn. So that's the turn 1 end ball is big monster negate. It's not even a monster negate. Big monster protection, back row negate. The thing that the what does it do? It's compulse. It's compulsed, but you have to banish, which is good because we have a Necro Valley that prevents it from going off, and an unknown. So, cool. I'm gonna activate the thing. I'm gonna set Editorial Neos. You know what? Crystal Clear Wing can negate. That's right. Super Polymerization. One of the most fair card ever conceived in the history of. Why am I so sour? It's like, why am I so? Ugh, immediately. You know, it's like, I don't know. Super Polymerization is just an unfairly. Like, incredibly rather unfair card that I'm not fond of, and I don't like that it exists. And it does, so here we have to go. Look, Stratus pops the thing, Nearest Fusion gets the thing, so even if they have Kytroid, which they do, they can't activate the Kytroid more than once because they can banish it for the graveyard because of Necro Valley, which thankfully enough I have opened. Floodgates are cool! Wow-wee! Look, it's Rainbow Neos. It doesn't matter, you know? They're not even gonna try and do anything. They just know that this is lethal no matter what they do. So there you go. That's Hero. Hero always wins. Okay, that first replay was kinda lame. This one is a tiny bit better, I promise. This one is actually does a better job at showcasing the new stuff that Hero got, so. I'm going second against what turned out to be Sky Strikers, which pretty interesting deck, pretty impressive deck, you know, really cool deck that I actually like, a deck that actually has you play a Yu-Gi-Oh! So, gonna make a bunch of 13 extra for free, I'm gonna get to pitch a Rose, I'm gonna get to Area 0 the Ray, you know, the classic Ray combo that you just do, and you're just able to do. Into a K-Nat to get a bunch of life points. Hey look, they reveal the Encaje, so they just get to put the Engage in their hand. That's the Engage. Wow, that's a Widow Anchor. And then guess what they do next? They activate a second Engage. They don't have the spells in the graveyard, so it's just a Surge spell, you know, that's still pretty good. And they're gonna activate Multi-Roll, put the K9 in the graveyard, and then, look, it's Kagari. Kagari is gonna get something. Can you guess what it's gonna get? Is gonna get the Engage, except for that you have Didicro again. Didicro is a really good card this format, I've been told, because I've been playing in a while, but apparently it's really good against Despia. I guess it's also good against Shadows, because they only have one of the Red Shadow trap now. And they pulled a light plate copy of Shizuku and face gated jamming maneuver. I'm assuming they said the double Widow Anchors, because that's what they do. So normally this would be kind of problematic, right? Because this is a water monster, and as you know, we still do not have Elemental Hero Absolute Zero in the game, and we're probably not getting it anytime soon, because we have like 4 skills that just say click yellow button, get Super Poly, and you can't respond to skills, and you can't respond to Super Poly. So that'd be incredibly annoying if we got a 1-card board wipe, wouldn't it? Anyway, we'll still make do though. Click yellow button. I don't think I'm gonna need the Armed Dragon. I should just put the Neos here. Wow, get a Poly. Get a Poly. We're gonna equal to get a Liquid Soldier. That's my wet boy right here. I'm gonna flip the Neos. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Neos. Summon the Stratus and threaten to pop the back row, which is going to draw the Widow Anchor activation. Activate Super Poly here. Because I am based and smart and really cool, I can Super Poly my own board into Elemental Hero Infernal Rage. Pop the second Widow Anchor. Infernal Rage gets me my favorite hero, and then tributes itself in order to summon Elemental Hero Sunrise. Sunrise is going to get me the Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion banishes 1, banishes 2. I guess the mistake that I did was pitch the ADT instead of just activating equal pitch Liquid Soldier. It doesn't matter, I still get my big Elemental Hero Wake Up guy. Favorite hero activates Necro Valley. We're gonna attack into that so they can't even, you know, get the Ray. And I just burned there for that's a 1-card lethal anyway, so you know, I didn't even need to activate the Necro Valley, but I did. And this is what's happening. Oh look, last replay for the day is against everyone's other favorite deck to face on ladder, Utopia. Utopia, which is a very linear combo deck, which I guess have to exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! And by extension in Duel Links. This is fine, you know, it's not the most aggressive thing out there. I'm going second, look up in Necro Valley and the Liquid Soldier again. Now they have Necro Valley too. Oh, that's kind of a shame. But that's probably a good card that to put. I guess they have to hard draw it because they have no way to search it, unlike Hero, the last favorite hero. It just activates this skill. You know how these decks work, right? I don't need to even commentate this replay. It's like you've seen this a billion trillion times, especially if you're playing one or the other on ladder. It's like, what's the point? So I'm just gonna yap about anything that I can think of, which unfortunately at the moment is not too many things. I can't think of stuff to talk about, you know, and I'd be like, hey, Magic the Gathering, am I right? But the next set is Spider-Man, and I'm a Spider-Man fan, you know, I read the comics, I am aware of Paul, unfortunately, but the Spider-Man set looks like a bad Magic the Gathering set, and a bad Spider-Man set. I am so tired of Spider-Verse stuff, like, it's just too much! I just want street-level Spider-Man stories featuring classic Spider-Man villains! And I guess Magic the Gathering too, the same thing! It's like we could have gotten a set with like Big Wheel and the actual, all of these superior foes, not just a Beetle and I guess a card that has Boomerang on it, but instead we have to get fucking Madam Web from the hit movie Madam Web! You know? We have to get Morlun! Wow, everyone's favorite character, Morlun, is in this for some reason. I don't know, it's the same problem with the comics, you know? The Zebwell's run was garbage. The one that introduced Paul, pee-pee poo-poo bad run. But then the Joe Kelly run started. Okay, there was the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man arc that really boring. But then, you know, there was a story with the Hobgoblin that I thought was interesting and super cool and really like well drawn and stuff. And now we're moving back into super garbage Spider-Man stories where he is miserable and stuck in a rock in space. And also John Romita Jr. is drawing again, which... Anyway, Spider-Man venting aside, our opponent has made a somewhat formidable board of 1 Utopia negate, 2 Utopia negate, a 3rd negate, which is just actually this one, so if we super poly this one, it's no problem. Astral Utopia, which is just sitting there. Necro Valley, which unironically is kind of a problem for our deck. And what I can only assume is a set, whatchamacallit, Numbers Protection, which, because they have 2 Ultimate Utopia rays, if I super poly 1, this is still active, so I have to keep that in mind. I draw Neos Fusion because I'm good. Pitch a Liquid for the Neos, which, wow, I'm so good at this game. Activate Polymerization for the Neos and Liquid Soldier into Elemental Hero Sunrise. I know that this is not live or anything, but I want to draw deeper in my deck. My opponent's going to activate Utopia here. I'm just, okay. Well, he forced me to pull the trigger really early. And something that is incredibly funny is I get to super poly their own board. Their entire board gets super polyed because the materials on Wake Up Your Elemental Hero is 1 Elemental Hero Neos Fusion monster and as many warrior type monsters as you'd like, and their entire board is warrior type monsters. Anyway, I just get rid of the entire board. Yeah, Miracle Fusion. And look, I drew Yiko, so I even get to summon Stratos, pop the Necro Valley. So I can extend with Miracle Fusion, even though this is already lethal on board. You never know, they might be playing Kytroids. That's, you know, that's a card that people put in their deck, even in 2025. Look, it's Infernal Rage. If I get to summon off of banishing stuff, I get Favorite Hero. I guess Tribute it. What am I gonna summon? I guess I'm just gonna summon the little Winkaribo level 6. Because he's cute. Favorite Hero puts back a Necro Valley, just in case. And wham bam! That's Wake Up Lethal. That game was kind of cool, you know, the feeling of super polying an entire board, it's kind of cracked. Maybe it's worth like just building a jank deck with like a DNA changed warrior super poly for this. Probably not, it would be way too janky, but imagine. So that's the deck. Wow, what a surprise! Hero still does hero stuff, and Hero still has to play Floodgates in order to compensate for its mediocre turn 1 option. I'm not playing any of the trap cards that are like Allowed Life Barrier or Rainbow Life. A lot of people on non-fusion area, which you can dig for with this deck's pretty good draw power. Not playing that either. This deck is generic enough that it's not targeted against any specific type of deck. Like even Necro Valley is a generic enough card that it has applications against pretty much anything in the current meta, and even a wide variety of rogue decks. So that's that. Hero is still the same as it always was. I'm still not a fan of this skill at all. It genuinely feels like you're not playing the same type of Yugi as your opponent, right? Because you just get to put resources from your deck onto the field for free, and you get a polymerization and super poly for basically free. And people will say, oh, but Hero is no longer playable because it has been pushed out of the metagame by all of these other decks. But I can't help but feel like Dragonic Contact existing and being the best deck for like early 2025 was a big reason for the even more push skills that we got afterwards, you know? That's just a skill power creep, and I guess card power creep in a nutshell. But yeah, it will keep happening. It just keeps happening. And Dragonic Contact is at least partially to blame for it. But before Dragonic Contact, we had a Star Seraph skill, and before that, we had Rev Defler, and before that, we had the Tachyon skill, and before that, we had the other hero skill, that Eternal Bond, that just allowed you to summon Ubel, click yellow button, flip, click yellow button, flip, click yellow button, flip, click yellow button, gets volley. You know, it's never-ending cavalcades of power creep that, I mean, if you want to play Duel Links, you just have to embrace it. I don't know if I want to embrace it. On the plus side, I did get to build the deck that I was most looking forward to, so look out for that in a future video. But for the time being, you know, Duel Links is a fun enough game sometimes, but Dragonic Contact reminds me of how terrible things really are. And that's it. That's my video on heroes. So if you're a new returning player to the game, this is what a hero list looks like. You maybe don't need the third e-call. You maybe don't even need the Necro Valley. You can play a really trimmed down version where you just play hero good stuff cards and try and get one Wake Up, one Infernal Rage, and call it a day. You know, that's as simple as it has to be. You can just play hero beatdown and pretty much steamroll anything in rank until like platinum or something. And that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, make sure to like it, comment your favorite Spider-Man character, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support me further for some reason, you can also check out the description to find my Ko-fi page, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge, or become a YouTube channel member. So I would like to thank my Ko-fi donators in the forms of Dingus, Towdish Boy 0, Jimmy, Zinnia, Yannick, Sile, Mark Lou, Fortunio 16, the Abyss Actor Guru, Old Bryce and Exorcist. And I would like to thank my YouTube channel members Sternay, Crimson Reaper 5, Troy Bolton, Genius Wannabe, and Seal Lelouch. Thank you all for the support. Next video is going to be Mutants. I tried to be subtle about it, but I'm just gonna let you know next video is gonna be Mutants. Thank you all for watching once again. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.